Excuse me, sir. Nakamute ka po.
Okay, so thank you. Again, good morning, everyone. Um, so this is our first meeting for AD 1111, and I have asked Therese to be the facilitator for the for today. Um, she will take note of all your questions uh, in the chat box. So we will start while the others are still coming in. Okay, so I don't know if some of you are under me in another subject, but so the tendency is, of course, you might be hearing the same things, although I also changed some of the policies that I am going to present now. So so you'll be hearing also some other things about me because I will start this session um, to introduce myself. Okay. Um, so that's my name. My full name, although I seldom use the second name, so I sometimes write only Troy Elizaga. And I'm sure this question will sometimes come up. So I'm single, and my birth date is February 18, 1970. That makes me 50 years old, and my birthplace and hometown is Davao City. So I know well, I'm mostly people in Davao are mixed Tagalog and Bisaya. Um, I finished my PhD just this September uh, online. Although I was in Japan for 3 years, and then the Masters in Architecture in San Carlos last 2013, and my Bachelor's in Architecture is also in San Carlos in 1992. So aside from being an architect, a licensed architect, I'm also a licensed environmental planner. So that's all for me. We will review now some class policies. I actually sent you a bulletin about the class policies. Some of them may have changed. So this is the latest, and I'll be making a bulletin based on these slides afterwards. Online lectures, this will be recorded just as I recorded this now and uploaded afterwards for others who were not able to participate. So yesterday I had a online class, and it's my first time to convert the recording in YouTube where it is more accessible to some people, especially whose data packages will allow free YouTube videos. So participants' microphone should be on mute. So mine should not be. So that was uh, a boo-boo earlier. Use chat box for comments and question unless the instructor calls on a student by name. Then facilitator will be assigned to sort out questions and answer some. It is advisable to turn off camera if your internet is slow. Attendance is required only on some activities, so I don't really require or check attendance. Announcement will be made ahead of time if attendance is required. So um, attendance has no bearing on the grade. So it's all right if you don't want to participate in the online classes. The only advantage is that if you have questions, you can ask them directly. And also, um, there are things which are not in the slides that I tend to emphasize, with more examples, so it makes it easier to understand. So communication and consultation, we will use Google Classroom for our instruction. Okay, so please ignore notifications of this course from Canvas. Um, we have the teachers have agreed to sort of unpublish the Canvas account for this course so that you will not be confused, but it seems like it's still there. So chances are you will be receiving notifications because some other teachers, so it's unified. So if one of the teacher posts something there, it applies to everyone. So not only in my class. So that's the glitch that we're trying to solve now. So that's why we decided so that we can work separately. So we decided to use Google Classroom individually. Okay, so feel free to contact the instructor, me, anytime for questions and clarifications. And you channel complaints about the instructor to the chairman, Architect Neil Manjares of the Department of Architecture, so not on social media, no, unless you simply want to gain a lot of attention, like likes, for monetary purposes. Now, if you have accessed Canvas, you might have read a post from Architect Carabio. She posted the requirements for the tools that will be needed for this course. So A3 paper, um, I will be telling you what you will be using for each exercise. So but A3 paper may be needed later on for plates. But meantime, we'll be using either short band paper or A4. If you cannot find A4, you can use a long band paper and cut it to the size of A4. Because most scanners, if you have a scanner, they're actually built to accommodate A4. And then the triangle, my assumption is that you've been through this in senior high. You had drafting lessons, so I don't need to teach you how to make use of the drawing instruments. Now, T-square, masking tape, pencil, um, you can have either the mechanical pencil or the traditional one, although I would prefer the more traditional one because you can control the sharpness of the lead. Eraser, erasing shield, compass, protractor, scale, either the fan scale or triangular, and tech pens. Now here, she wrote either Staedtler or Rotring. So I don't really mind what um, what brand you use, as long as it's a pen and it's the weight is what I required. If it's supposed to be thick, thin, or medium. Um, in fact, you may even use the disposable felt tip pens, no, like Pilot. As long as output, the output is more important for me. So number 12 is cutter. The backing sheet is actually just to protect your drawing from the irregularities of the surface. And drafting table, um, it's up to you what table you use, as long as you can use the T-square if you need a perpendicular lines, and French curve. Okay. So if you have more questions about the materials, you can write them down in the chat box. So these policies apply only in this course, which is under me. Okay, it may differ from other instructors handling the same course. Some policies may change when all the instructors handling the same course agree on a unified policy, which is different from what is presented here. So every now and then, the teachers, because we also meet online, so we might agree that, okay, let's do this together, okay? Or let's just ask the students to do this instead of that. So then we will inform the class. Now, grading system. So this differs, of course, from the other classes. We only have exercises and plate, and we also have a final term plate and a final exam. So exercises is 60% and midterm exam is 40. So there are many exercises and then there's only one midterm exam. We don't have a pre-midterm and we don't have a pre-final. And then we also have CAD exercises. Although we have that in midterm, but it's counted among the exercises. In the tentative, for the tentative final grade, after midterms, we don't have exercises anymore except the CAD exercises. So that's why I separated it. And then CAD exercises is only 10%, 60% for plate, and 30% for final exam. For the final grade, 30% is midterm and 70% is the tentative final grade. So that should give the midterm, the period of the midterm until midterm exam should give you enough time to adjust already. Okay, so by the time that we go into the towards the finals, so that's the time that you really should do your best. Other matters, I asked an architect to be part of our class because she actually requested it. I sent her an invitation, and you might, if she accepts, you might find that she is like one of the teachers, but her role is actually to be an observer. Okay, and later on, depending on how things go, she might also help me with the class. Now we go to the lecture proper on lettering. But before that, I'd like to check. I think there's a request for to be included. Yes, Rogen May Valiao wants to be admitted. Okay, lettering. So I'll start with a quote. All normal persons can learn to letter if they are persistent and intelligent in their efforts. These authors of a book, they're authors of a book on technical drawing and some other technical books, no? Which is very useful in architecture. Um, so this lettering requires a lot of effort, okay, because especially that from now on, I will force you to use lettering, architectural lettering in all your plates. And if you have not been fond of black letterings, like what you see in the screen, really, it sometimes the hand is very difficult to manipulate, no? It's to move around. That's why there should be constant practice. There are only three things in lettering that is important: the form, the proportion, and the spacing. So form means simply that the simple basic shape is the most legible. So if your letter has so many frills around it, so many curves which are not necessary, so sometimes it is difficult to read. So in terms of vertical strokes, you should use, it's advisable to use a small triangle. Okay, so later on, I'm going to post a video that will show you how this is done. Okay, so to control the straightness of your vertical, so keep all verticals perpendicular to your guidelines. And then begin all strokes from the top of your guideline. Never draw a stroke from bottom up. This is separate when you're actually drawing a line for figures. Okay, you start from the bottom going up, but when you letter, the stroke is from top to bottom. Horizontal strokes are drawn from left to right. I'm not sure about left-handed people how they do it. So, but normally for right-handed, it's from left to right. Top and bottom horizontals are drawn on top of the guidelines, and middle horizontals fits the distance from the top and the bottom. We'll be talking about guidelines later. So you basically have a top guideline and a bottom guideline, and you fit your letter inside. So when you write a horizontal line for the letter, it should be a bit on top of the guideline, not exactly in the guideline. Slope letters should be uniformly sloped. So these are the letters that are straight. Okay, so if you notice, there are numbers and arrows. Those will tell you what strokes you should follow. Okay, so which stroke you have to do first and then the next. Um, for I, there's no problem. You just give it one vertical stroke going down. And most complicated, maybe letter K. If you notice that the letters also fit in a grid, and most of the grid are 6 units by 6, so it's like square. Okay, um, there are very few with more than 6 units, like W, uh, and there are also a few with lesser than 6 units, especially letter I. Now, circular strokes are plump ovals on a forward slant. So circles are made in a single circular motion. So they should be uniform. Therefore, you have to practice making round ovals and round all the circles, no, to get the feel of it. So these are the letters and numbers which make use of curves. Again, they fit in a 6 by 6 grid. And you can see, for example, in some are perfect circles or based on a perfect circle like O, Q, C, and G, and some needs an oval like J and U. Now below are numbers which combine both curves and lines. So in terms of proportion, so I already showed you the letters in a grid. So therefore, the grid sort of controls the proportion. But proportion is actually the relationship of height to weight, and it's not mathematical, so but a matter of good judgment. So you don't really have to follow exactly the 6 units by 6 unit grid. So it's just a guide. When necessary, proportions are changed to fit definite spaces. Sometimes if you're going to write and you think that the word is longer than the space provided or the sentence is longer, so you can make the letters a bit narrower so that they fit. All letters are roughly the same width, and when done correctly, they should be as wide as they are tall. That each letter sits inside an imaginary square. So 6 by 6 grid. And spacing, finally. So space letters and words uniformly by eye rather than by measuring. Okay. So if you force the same spacing in between letters, no matter what letter they are, it will not be readable. Sometimes the letter has to be nearer each other compared to others. No? Each letter is a unit of design in itself. When letters are combined, they form a more complex design. The design will be legible and pleasing to the eye if proportion, form, and spacing of the letters have been properly executed. So these 3 things are important to consider when you do lettering: proportion, form, and spacing. So other tips. I mentioned about guidelines. Okay, so you have to use guidelines unless your paper already has lines or dots. Some notebooks, for example, have grid lines that are formed by dots. So your guidelines can be drawn by yourself with a ruler, or you can use line paper or grid paper to practice. So guidelines control the height and the line space of architectural lettering. So the maximum size is 3/16 of an inch. Now this 3/16 is actually close to 1/4. So you can use 1/4 inch. And you have to bear this in mind even when you do AutoCAD drawings. because when you specify the, the letters and then you print that out, the letter should come out like 1/4 inch. Okay, bigger than that, it's like you're wasting a lot of space, and smaller than that, it's like difficult to read. Okay, so you can go 1 point higher or bigger, but it has to be within that range. So beyond the size, okay, experts use guidelines. So even experts use guidelines. And right now you are students, so you have to use guidelines. And on pencil lettering, they are generally allowed to remain, enhancing the appearance. So when you letter using pencil, you don't have to erase the guidelines, okay? Because you end up erasing also your letters. But when you ink the letters, you can erase the guidelines, although you can also choose to let it remain because the guidelines help make everything straight. Okay, it also helps. That's why there's no need to erase it, but you have to make it very light, just visible enough for you uh, to see, visible enough. So consistency. So don't mix alphabets. Normally, when we do architectural lettering, we normally use capital letters only. Okay. Do not use serifs as much as possible. Serifs are those small um, like tails in letters. If you have to use serif in I and J, they should be used in all letters. So you cannot have a series of letters without serifs, but when it comes to I and J, there are serifs. Don't cross the strokes of individual letters if you can help it. This means that they should not be too close to each other that the strokes go to the other letters. And then do not leave gaps between the strokes of your letters. So your lettering should be definite so that it's readable, so that the eye flows smoothly over your letters. And then fractions. So this is a special case. There's a line between the numerator and denominator, and it has to be in the middle line. No? Space between the number and the divisor lines are centered, and diagonal lines are rarely used. Okay, so sometimes even in computer, even in AutoCAD, they give you the option of diagonal lines. But when you letter, it's better not to use the diagonal lines. Divisor lines extend slightly beyond the numbers, and extension is even on both sides. So we have a image for that. So in letter A, there's a space between the line and the numbers. Letter B, so it's centered, the numbers are centered. Letter C, so we don't use the diagonals. And then letter D, the extension, the divisor is just right. It's not way beyond the numbers or short. Okay, so from here on, architectural lettering should be used for all drawing requirements. Okay, so when I grade your plates, I will also look at how you do your letters. So even if the drawing is perfect, but the lettering is bad, does not, or even if the lettering is neat to look at, but it did not follow the block lettering. For example, you use some other type of font, um, even if it's manual, no? So that affects the grades. So, well, this is just my main reference, but you don't need to look it up. It's a very old book. Okay. Before I assign the exercise, I will stop the sharing again. And then see whether there are questions. So I don't think there are questions, no? Therese, you can unmute if you have to speak. Okay, I'll continue now to give you the exercise. Okay. So I will share this in Google Classroom, so don't worry, you don't have to write it, but you have to listen to my instructions properly. So I'm going to tell you some things which are not written here. In the Google Classroom, I also uploaded the slides, not all the slides, only the lecture on the lettering. And I also uploaded 2 videos from YouTube. Okay, so you have to write 5 inspirational quotes from different famous architects using the architectural lettering skills you have just learned. Okay, so you have to research. Uh, but it depends on you on who the architects are and what they're going to say. So with the paper, okay, in the fourth, I placed here, use short band paper. Okay, we begin 1 inch below the top margin of your paper and construct 1/4 inch guides with 1/8 inch space between them for your lettering exercise. Okay, and also between quotes, since there are 5 quotes, you should give enough space. Okay, so that they're more readable. Then be sure to establish a vertical guideline or vertical guideline 1 inch from the left margin of your paper. Okay, so basically you have a 1 inch margin all around. Then you make 2 copies of this. One is in pencil, the other one is in ink. Okay, so I will leave it to you to choose the width of the ink, the pen, and also the type of pencil. So your choice is what I will grade. So if you choose a very light pencil and it comes out almost unreadable, so that affects your grade. If you choose a very thick pen that comes out all like blocks, so that affects the grade. Okay, so you don't have to do this in one go. So you need to practice first. So you can get a scratch paper, practice, and then make the final exercise before you submit. Okay, so you don't have to do this once and then when you submit with all your mistakes. So you can submit. You can keep on repeating, then submit just before the deadline. Okay, the deadline is September 7. That should be enough time. So at 11:59 p.m. That's 1 minute before noontime. Okay. You can scan it or take a photo, then upload here in Google Classroom. If you don't have a scanner, you can download an app that takes photos and straightens them up, you know, so that what you submit is like scanned version. Now, this exercise is different from the exercises made by the other teachers, okay, because they uploaded an exercise in Canvas, and I'm sure that all of them might be using that exercise, but I just decided to use mine because it's important for me that you do lettering words rather than just letters. So you practice on the side on each letter, but then you submit this, no, paragraphs and basically words. So, and that's how I grade you, no, on how much you practice because of the final output. So just in case you compare notes with other classes, so definitely you will see that their exercise is very different from what I'm giving you. So in fairness, I think that this exercise is easier. Okay, so this is a sample quotation which I showed you earlier. So this is how you can write it. I will allow that you use small letters for the names of the architects, but um, for the quote itself, it should be uh, capital letters. Okay. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so there are questions. For A3, volume, sir, pwede volume board. Actually, it it doesn't matter to me, but I will tell you when we already start using the A3 paper. Um, because this may not be readily available, no? Especially with the pandemic. Ah, yes, I did not specify in the exercise um, if the orientation is um, landscape or portrait. It should be portrait. The orientation should be portrait. So what if the different coats don't fit one short band paper? So you use two short band papers, but then you have to make two copies, one in pencil and the other one in ink. If it is, it seems that I don't really need a facilitator, but I'm sure that you're taking notes. Thank you for that. Is there any other questions? Anyway, you can still ask me by writing on the Google Classroom, and I'll respond immediately as soon as possible. So for now, we have to end the session so that you have time to do your exercises. But you have all the time until September 7 anyway. Um, Meantime, um, I think the uploads are scheduled. One will be uploaded but 8:30. I think it's the exercise, and then 8:45. I think it's the video. Then at 9 o'clock, the slides will be uploaded. So you just wait for it. Okay. So if there's no other questions, we can end the session. So thank you very much for participating. There are 41 of you here right now, including myself. Okay, so thank you very much. So we will now end.